My father's got stories to tell me. I want some stories for myself to tell to my kids.
Right.
And this can't be my story that, you know, my father put in money for my first film.
But you know what I find fascinating actually is your dad. Tell us his story. I know that he came from Punjab, from a village in Punjab. He made it, you guys had a rough start, as it's true for anyone who comes to Bombay, especially for show business. And then he kept moving up. Did he come here to become an actor and that you're almost fulfilling his dream in a certain way?
No.
Not true.
No,
Okay.
not true. My dad and mom, they're both from a very small village in Punjab. Different villages, but they are from Punjab. My dad, he was good in studies.
Okay.
He started learning English in the 6th grade. And that's how it was. It was छोटे-छोटे school होते थे. He was a topper in BA, English Literature. He did his MA, English Literature. Then he wanted to be an English professor in Punjab. But that required him to do another degree called MPhil in Chandigarh, where he had to stay in the hostel, and his financial situation back then was not as good to, you know, support him to do that. So at the age of 23, he is villa. He's got no job even after doing like MA, and he wasn't from a family which had like, you know, खेत है, खलियान है कि खेती बाड़ी कर लो and you know पैसे आ जाएंगे, वो भी नहीं था. My दादाजी had a very small किराने की दुकान in the गांव. So he was frustrated as a youngster. Even after doing a postgrad in English literature, he was frustrated of not having a job. His friend Satpal, he was going to come to Bombay to become an actor.
Okay.
Knowing that my dad is too frustrated, my grandfather knew that he's frustrated, so they're like, तू बॉम्बे चले जा, 4-5 महीने थोड़ी अलग हवा खा के आएगा, अपने आप बेटर हो जाएगा, यहाँ आके फिर से जॉब ले लेगा. So my dad comes to Bombay and he was very serious that अब जो भी है एक नई लाइफ स्टार्ट करनी है, गांव जाके कुछ नहीं रखा. I want to start something new here. So my dad's दूर के चाचा who stays in New Bombay, he got him a job of a salesman. A salesman of a plumbing wall back in Chembur behind RK Studios. So he was doing that for a year at 350 rupees a month salary, and he really struggled. Like he's been on the streets without letting anybody know in the office. He was actually living in the office. He didn't have a home. So he had a mandavli with the peon.
Right.
कि यार मैं तुझे इतना पैसा दे दूंगा. So he used to, like अगर 6 बजे वो ऑफिस छूटता था तो 6 o'clock he used to leave. So by 7:30 he was back in the office once everybody is left.
Right.
And then the next morning 4 o'clock, 4:30 he was out of the office, and then he would come back again. Like
He'd take a shower in the office, loo and stuff.
everything.
Right.
So that's how he was living.
Wow.
He would go to a specific vada pav wala in Chembur because that auntie used to give him free chutney. कि चटनी जितनी खानी है खा ले. So he used to have pav with chutney, like दाल है चलो खाते रहो जितनी भी है. So he's had his struggling time, and then after a year he was like, I can't really start a family with 350 rupees a month and unless I go like under the table and do something, which he didn't want to do. So he just, without any plan B, without any safety net, he just said कि ये तो मैं नहीं कर रहा, because there's no, now I'm doing this job, even after 15 years I'll be doing this job, even after 30 years I'll just be doing this job, there's no way up.
Right.
So he's like, I can't live this life, and he comes to Santa Cruz. He's a PG with like 10 other people, where Anupam Kher Saab used to live in that same house before him as a PG when he was struggling, and he stays with these 10 Punjabi guys who were stuntmen, and that's when he discovers this profession कि ये क्या job है. But what really pulls him to this job was that ये सुबह जाते थे, काम करते थे, पता नहीं क्या काम करते हैं, काम करते हैं और शाम को पैसे लेके आते हैं घर. It's not like he has to wait for an entire month. तो ये उनको बड़ा अच्छा लगा कि मैं सुबह जाऊंगा, काम करूंगा, शाम को आऊंगा और मैं खाना खाऊंगा. So it was purely for survival that he got into this at the age of 25, where people start training at the age of 13, 15, where the body is flexible. So this बनिए का लड़का starts at 25. कि यार करते हैं जहाँ, he's never done a physical activity ever in his life. He's just sat in his father's shop, done accounting and done stuff like that. But his hunger for survival was so much that he's like, I'm ready to do anything as long as I'm getting food in the night. That's how he starts doing that job, and then he's a stuntman for 8-10 years and lands up his first film, which was a Malayalam film called Indrajalam, which was Mohanlal's film. That was his first film, and he got that job because of his degree in English literature, because they came and they wanted a new action director.
Okay.
They didn't mind a stuntman becoming an action director for the first time. And when they were scouting a new guy, my dad was the only candidate because he was the only guy who could talk in English with them. he was the only guy who knew English.
Right.
So they're like, "ठीक है, we'll work with him," and that's how his English degree and everything helped him to become an action director in the first place.
Amazing.
So that's what I learned from him, and that's what he always kept on teaching us, that it doesn't matter if, like, I have done my engineering. So that's what he kept saying, that it doesn't matter if your algebra is going to help you or not. It doesn't matter if the circuits you're working on is going to help you in acting or not. But your hard work, your intention towards giving your best to your now will help you eventually. And that's where he always let us focus on. He never taught us that कि ये करो ताकि ये काम आएगा. ये कर रहे हो, it doesn't matter. He's like, if you're doing it, you have to be good in it. It doesn't matter if it's giving you anything back or not. If you give everything to that work, it's gonna give you in ways you don't even know. That's been his journey, and then so I was born in '88, and that time he was just a stuntman. He was only in '90 I was born in '88. In '90 he became an action director, and from then on, it's actually, to be very honest, it's been my mom and dad's journey. We've only had the fruits of it, but it's been his journey.
But as a person who's sort of followed that journey, because you can't help it, because you live in the same home, did you get to see show business from a certain distance? Did you get to observe it at all? Zero?
No, the thing is, firstly, it was not a house where everything was shared. Me and Sunny know when dad has had bad days. Me and Sunny know that when dad has had good days. Every little good thing was celebrated. Every little bad thing was discussed. So we knew that whatever good things we are getting in life is because of a lot of hardships that he's going through, and my mom's support to him. So we knew all of that, but it was never a house where ki me and Sunny wanted to meet our favorite stars, go on set, shooting देखनी है, party जाना है, वो कभी था नहीं. I don't know how it happened, but it was organically never that house. And sometimes if some actors are coming to our house also, we used to have our friends lined up outside our houses for an autograph, and then we used to realize कि अरे हमने ही नहीं अभी तक autograph लिया है. Because it was never that. Like so many times we used to call that actor an uncle. Because for us, that actor was my dad's friend.
Colleague, friend.
Yeah, it was that. So we used to, like, for example, me and Anurag sir always have a laugh about it, because he knows me since like Black Friday, and Black Friday I was in my 10th grade. 8th grade, 10th grade, I don't know I think 10th grade or something. So when he used to come for meetings with dad, I used to call him uncle. It was never sir, or it was never whatever, it was uncle, and I'm serving him paranthas. That's all that it is. मतलब परांठा सर्व के क्रिकेट खेलने चले गए. It was that. So we still have a laugh that ये कभी मुझे uncle बुलाया करता था. So it was never that कि he's that actor, he's that star. Because वो कभी था ही नहीं.
But if you're a movie buff, some of it is natural, right? That, let's say you follow their work and they're in your home. There's some element of it. No, zero.
Never that.
Okay.
It was never that. Like, for the first time when it happened was Hrithik Roshan.
Right.
Like तभी when I came to know that Kahuna Pyara had come, and of course, we were all a victim to that revolution that had happened. And when I came to know that dad is working with him on Fizza, he was the first actor I had told dad that I want to meet him. I want to really see him. He was the first actor. So that's when it had happened. And second time was when he was shooting for Ashoka and he was working with Shah Rukh sir. So but otherwise it was never that.
You knew that it's just a job.
Yeah, it's just a job. And it was presented that way at home. That
Right.
he's just gone for his job and come back from his job. So it was never that. And also what had happened was most of the meetings, the work meetings used to happen over breakfast. So it's not like कि घर पे party होती थी या वैसा होता था. It was more like those relationships were also very personal. So it was never seen in that text कि वो actor आ रहा है घर पे. So वो relationship की तरह होता था कि वो uncle आ रहे हैं घर पे, वो ये आ रहे हैं घर पे, वो आ रहे हैं, and then they used to come very often. So it became like a thing कि family friend is coming home.
Correct. The novelty wore off.
Yeah, so it wasn't that कि star is coming home, because they used to have, like, we used to have food sitting on the floor together, and so it never became that. It was never that.
But the thing is, and because of your father being in the film industry, and I mean, there's this whole conversation about nepotism, blah blah blah. But the fact is that if you've actually seen show business from within, you would have seen the ups and downs that a lot of people may not have because of the fact of your father being there. That's one element of it. Second, you would also notice how deeply hierarchical show business is. It's perhaps the most capitalist of most.
Which is changing now.
Which is changing, of course. But when you were a kid, that certainly was. Did you have observations on that while growing up? Because you eventually became an actor, but there are a few things. Okay, fine. In the hierarchical system, would I be a star? Because it's either a star and everyone is like whatever, right? Did that ever?
नहीं, ये ख्याल कभी नहीं आया. But to be honest, ये भी नहीं था कि I had that reality check कि मुझे पता था मैं launch नहीं होने वाला. I don't know how that was there, and it was not with a feeling of resent or that कि यार मैं क्यों नहीं launch हो रहा. My father is also in the industry. ऐसा कभी नहीं था. पता नहीं क्यों नहीं था, but नहीं था कभी भी. मुझे पता था that I can only make a mark by knowing my job, by really going through the drill and getting those opportunities on the basis of what I know. And also what had happened was, see, being my father's son. Like firstly, my father had made it clear when I told him that I want to be an actor. He said that I'm going to be with you as a father, not as an action director. That was made very, very clear to me. Secondly, utna reality check tha that I know that if somebody is going to spend crores of money, he's not going to do it because I'm Shyam Kaushal's son. He's not going to do that.
Unless Shyam Kaushal does it himself.
Correct, correct. But that I knew never was going to happen, and that I wouldn't want to happen. You know, my father's got stories to tell me. I want some stories for myself to tell to my kids.
Right.
And this can't be my story that, you know, my father put in money for my first film. So that was there. So I knew that I wanted to know the job, I wanted to learn the job, and I wanted to make a mark for myself. ये भी नहीं था, to be very honest, my dream was also not that big कि I want to be a hero. Of course, every actor wishes to be that.
To play the lead part, right.
But पता नहीं क्यों, maybe it was my complexes or my underconfidence or whatever कि मुझे था कि अरे हीरो पता नहीं कोई मौका देगा कि नहीं, मुझे बस एक्टिंग करा लो.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.